What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get in.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Shivering.
It's freezing down here.
Oh, because the air's on?
Every time I get ready to record, I always think, let me put on like just a t-shirt and shorts, because by the time we're done, I'm typically like warm just from sitting in this seat the whole time. And I was getting ready today and I was like, no, I feel like I need to put on, like I have like sweatpants shorts on. I have like calf high socks on. And, this hoodie and a t-shirt.
How cold is it in there?
Freezing down here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. It's fantastic because it feels nice, and like when I go to bed, I'm not like sweating when I go to bed.
Yeah.
But it's cold. It's cold.
Well, I don't have I want to turn my air on, but it would be too loud. Unless I get a microphone that I can take out background noise from, because it would be way too loud, so. That would be nice. Yeah. But hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of F1 Underground. It's episode 17. I checked this week.
We're learning.
We're learning. Episode 17. We're going to recap Canada. A lot happened the whole weekend, not even just the race. There was a lot from practice to qualifying to the race.
It was a good weekend. Yeah,
it was a good weekend. It was probably the most exciting race since Australia, I have to say. Australia was exciting, but obviously we'll do our meme of the week and weekly news and stuff before that. But I wanted to first start off before we do our weekly news. Our meme of the week. Take some time for the bird. The bird.
We do need to start with a moment of silence.
A moment of silence for the bird. I feel like I should have the SPCA song playing.
Oh.
Like, yeah. We just need to take some time to say a prayer to the bird that Max Verstappen hit.
Got eviscerated by their brake.
Yeah. And then was stuck in the rear brake duct for the entire race. They had to post a picture of it. Did they really need to post a picture of it? No. No one needed to see that mangled bird.
Wait, they
after the race.
Of the bird?
Yes, they posted a picture of the bird.
On what?
Oh my god, wait. Okay. I have a screenshot of it. They posted a picture of the bird.
You gotta send me that screenshot right now. I did not know that they posted a picture of it. That's horrible.
Yes, a picture of the bird. Like, one of their mechanics is holding it like this. I just sent it to you.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
And Max Verstappen laughing at the end of the race, saying there was a lot of suicidal wildlife out there on Sunday. I mean...
A picture of the bird that was stuck in Max Verstappen's brakes during the... I mean, this thing got eviscerated by the brakes.
I needed one of those, like, content warning things on top of the picture before I could see it. Like, you know, on TikTok when it's like...
Trigger warning?
Yeah, it's like a trigger warning, because that thing's disgusting.
Yeah, that's...
They retweeted and said, if we all had to see it, everyone has to see it, because it's legit disgusting.
That's pretty brutal.
But yes, I would just like to take a time. It was the only bird hurt in the making. No groundhogs were hurt this past weekend, even though there was 3,000 of them on the track. But yes, just would like to take this time to remember
Recognize the bird.
Max Verstappen is number one
honor the
victim.
Bird.
As people keep saying, Max Verstappen's number one competition this year is Mother Nature. So
it literally is.
It's the only competition he has. But yes, we will move on to meme of the week. Okay, let me take this away.
Okay, all right.
You're going first.
Yeah. So my meme of the week.
Zoom in.
Hot spot.
It's a Veggie Tales.
Hot spot. Yeah. So this is my video of the week. Not my video, my meme of the week. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it says, for the audio listeners, it says, money can't buy you happiness. And then someone says, yes, it can. Have you ever seen anyone depressed in a Ferrari? And then it just cuts to Charles Leclerc. I don't know who that was. I'm assuming Carlos Sainz. Like,
that's Carlos.
pictures of the depressed Ferrari drivers. Like you got, there's the one of that's Seb. That's weird.
It didn't go. Just let it replay.
Yeah.
That's Alonso. That's Carlos.
That's Carlos. The first one was obviously of Charles. That's Seb.
That's Seb.
And that's Alonso.
Yeah, and then mechanics.
Yeah, the mechanics. And it says even the mechanics are sad. I thought it was hilarious. There's also one more, and I want to shout this out, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. So there's this meme, too.
Oh, yeah.
Of just the, absolute, like, legendary podium that we got this past weekend in Canada. Alonso, Verstappen, and Hamilton, just like, I was reading an article.
Goats of the goats.
Yeah, I was reading an article earlier, and it was 11 world championships on that podium right there. And I was like, that is fucking fantastic. So I just thought that was really cool. Obviously, this meme is usually like badass dragon, and then this one looks stupid over here. But
they changed the face.
Yeah, they changed it. So
that would have been if it was like Alonso, Verstappen, and like Lando Norris.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Yeah, or like a Haas driver.
Yeah. That was the pole position. That was after qualifying. So, yeah,
that's. I just wanted to throw
good.
That out there too. But those are my memes of the week.
Good, I like them. I like those. Okay, so you had more than one. Good. I have 3.
Yeah, I had those 2 quick ones.
One, I didn't take a screenshot. I should have brought up that picture, the selfie Hamilton took of the 3 of them in the post-race conference. Oh, yeah. And he posted it. So, but my meme of the weeks. First off, we have this gif of Toto Wolff imitating Fernando Alonso when they almost collided with, it was at Hamilton in the pit lane. Because I didn't realize it at first, and then I went back to watch. Alonso, he wasn't even close. He literally was like trying to sell a penalty like a hockey player. Like he legit was making it look worse than it was, and that was what the clip which do of Toto making fun of him. And then my next one, this is from WTF1, the DRS strain that was behind
so good.
Alex Albon. And just because the O.J. Simpson car chase was literally just the other day, the anniversary of it, so this also made a lot of sense. But he literally had everyone behind him. No one could get past. I saw a lot with him in the DRS train. I saw someone made the car huge. Someone made the car like completely stretched out, like because no one could get by. We'll obviously talk about Alexander Albon.
Classic Albon defense.
Yes. And then I made this one. It's a fan video I saw after the race.
Oh no!
Of Charles Leclerc like signing autographs outside the hotel they're all staying at. I don't know what he does wrong. I legit downloaded an app on my phone to create a GIF because I was like, I need his reaction. I don't know if he, 1, messed up his signature, or 2, just saw something he shouldn't have. But watch his face. It's so funny. I had to slow it down. I literally downloaded a GIF maker app to do that. So
he definitely screwed something up there. And
I think it's his signature because I mean, how hard is your signature? Well, I have basically this.
First of all, look at the way he's holding the hat. Like
I know, because I think someone else is probably holding it. That fan's probably holding the hat.
Not the hand that comes in on the back. Yeah, that's a little weird. That's good.
He also probably was getting stuff like pushed, like things. He was probably like getting beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, sign this, sign that. You know, that's
But yeah, that was my 3 memes of the week.
Good.
I had a lot. There was a lot to choose from this week. I could have had like 10.
A lot of content out of this week. I just loved the right at the start of the race, back to the bird. It was just like Max's radio pops up and it's, I think I hit a bird.
I think I hit a bird. Yeah, I think he's like, shit, I hit a bird. And then the picture came out like during the race, I think, or after. Someone from like his onboard camera, you could see the like blurry vision of the bird like literally hitting his car. And then they had to tweet out that damn video. Yeah. I'm shocked the bird didn't like blow up with how fast Max Verstappen was probably going.
I mean, it's from what the picture Red Bull tweeted out, it looks like it did a little bit. Looks like he got
Yeah, but like
evaporated, but
yeah, right.
Still able to have some form of physical body.
Yeah, but yes, the bird. We will miss that bird. I don't know if his family will miss him. But yes, moving into weekly news.
Can you hear this clicking, by the way?
Yeah, I can. Is that a pen?
Damn it, no. It's my divot fixer for
Fidget
golf,
spinner? Oh.
but it has a ball marker magnet like on it.
Oh, so you flip with it?
And I literally just sit here and just press it. It's like a little fidget toy for me, but I'll try to do it.
Yeah, I could hear it.
I'll try to do it quietly and like under the desk.
I'm gonna yell at you if I can hear it still.
God damn it! All right, I gotta put it on my bed because then I'm gonna sit here and do it.
It was it was echoing down there.
Oh, it was even worse down there.
We'll go with the two Danny Rick pieces of content for weekly news.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to the other one. So obviously he did the live. ESPN's trying to do that thing because the Manning cast has been such a big success for them.
The Manning cast is fun to watch.
Yeah. So I think they've been doing it with other sports. I've seen them do it with WNBA. I don't know if they do it. They have retired basketball stars do it. The same thing. But I think they're drinking on their broadcast, if I am correct. I feel like I've seen clips and they're like low-key a little drunk. I don't know how they get away with it.
Danny Rick?
No, the WNBA one.
I'll have to watch that and see.
So obviously there's a few races this season where Danny Rick's going to be doing it with Will Arnett, the comedian. They made it seem like they were going to be live from like one of the grandstands. That's what they made it sound like when you first went off, but they weren't.
I thought that was it.
No, Will Arnett wasn't even there. He was somewhere else.
I thought it was supposed to be Danny Rick and Will were gonna comment on the race as it happens and talk about it during the duration of the race.
Oh no, they did that, but I thought they made it seem like they were actually gonna like be there at the race commenting.
Where were they?
But Will Arnett wasn't even there. It looked like he was in an ESPN studio.
Oh, boo.
And then Danny Rick was in like one of the press boxes or whatever up at the track because he was there all weekend. But they're doing it a few other times. I don't know. Probably Vegas. And probably Austin, maybe Brazil and stuff because those races are at normal time for North America. But yes, I mean, I saw clips. Danny Rick may need a little practice. I saw a clip and he's literally not even talking. He's just staring at the action happening on the screen. Like he's not even making any comments. And then I saw another one where he just starts drinking maple syrup. So today I tweeted him and Buddy the Elf are the same person. You never see them together at the same time. He legit opens up a whole bottle of maple syrup and like rips the thing off and starts drinking it. But yeah, I also don't think Will Arnett knew that much about F1 because like he was like, I'm going to be an F1, what's it called? Not a critic, what's the expert? Thank you. By the end of like the race. But they also had guests. Josh Allen surprised Danny Rick because he loves Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, they're best buds.
Josh Allen was live from the U.S. Open. He was at the golf course. And then Marshawn Lynch was there. I know they talked about shoeies, and Marshawn Lynch was like, I just would rather have an open bottle, not from a shoe.
Somebody... I did a quick search for Will Arnett and Daniel Ricciardo. First article that pops up is titled, Daniel Ricciardo's new career move in the Formula One commentary gets black flagged by fans. Quote, this is unwatchable. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think...
And there's so many comments. Like the first one is, first of all, it was called The Grandstand. That's
okay.
Called The Grandstand. So it says, I'm watching The Grandstand where Danny Rick and Will Arnett are commentating, and the race hasn't even properly started, and it already seems very awkward and amateurish. Like, I don't like the Sky Sports commentary whatsoever, but even that might be better than this.
No,
and
that's what, like...
It's, like, not good. Like...
I feel like they didn't meet each other. That was like the first time. Like, the Zoom loaded, and they were the first time they were meeting each other.
Yeah, that's
Wouldn't you think they would have... I mean, give him Josh Allen to talk with, because him and Josh Allen are BFFs, so they'll have a better repertoire than him and Will Arnett. But yeah, I don't know how many other races. It's not every race this season. It's only...
Yeah,
I mean, ESPN's just trying to up their coverage because it's getting so big. But
I'm watching the clip of Daniel Ricciardo's like reaction to Josh Allen joining, and his face lights up. So yeah, make it Josh Allen instead of Daniel and Will Arnett. What a weird pairing. Like,
or bring in like Dak Shepard. Like you have, is that his last name? Like he has the F1 podcast right now. Like he loves F1. Give Danny Rick someone else that loves F1 just as much as him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not like, I'm teaching Will Arnett everything about F1 while there's a race going on. Like, no.
That's not fun.
No.
Hopefully ESPN can improve on it, which sucks because I was actually kind of excited to like watch that and see what it was like. I completely forgot about it on race day, but it was from what they showed, it doesn't seem like it was a lot of fun.
No, I don't think people liked it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But moving on to the next Daniel Ricciardo piece of news. It came out today also from ESPN. Maybe ESPN just loves Daniel Ricciardo. They know he's the personality to follow.
Oh, yeah.
That he apparently could be in AlphaTauri for next year. In 2024, sorry, because Perez's contract ends in 2024, but Ricciardo could maybe go to AlphaTauri. Which, could you imagine Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo as a driving duo?
I think they would be...
The chaos. You thought him and...
AlphaTauri would, like, mine them.
Oh, yeah.
Social media content. Like, all the stuff they could get out of that.
I mean, all the stuff, like, Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo put out was, insane because their personalities match. But, like, Yuki... I mean, just that clip of Daniel Ricciardo throwing Yuki in the water in Miami was hilarious. So, like, could you imagine?
That would absolutely be, like, a content gold mine for AlphaTauri. But I want Danny Rick in a Red Bull. That's what I want.
I know.
AlphaTauri's not going to cut it. I want him in a Red Bull.
I know. That's what people were criticizing this move because they're like, why aren't they going to bring any of the junior drivers up to AlphaTauri in 2024? Like, who's their other reserve driver at the moment? Liam Lawson? Yeah. And then the kid in F2 that's winning every race every weekend. Like, they're all... That's people like, bring them. But, I mean, Max... How many times did Max race for Toro Rosso? Probably like one season, and then he was
he went straight up,
straight up. But yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants to see Daniel Ricciardo back in a car all the time.
I mean, I'll take what I can get, but I would rather see him. I would rather see him come back in a Red Bull than an AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'll take what I can get. I'm happy with whatever.
And then the other piece of news with Daniel Ricciardo, no one really cared about Daniel Ricciardo. Everyone was more excited about Sebastian Vettel. Where's the tweet? I don't have this pulled up. I totally forgot about this. I'm almost there.
It's the same thing that Vettel's coming back with?
Yes. Sebastian Vettel will be...
You got it.
I tweeted a lot this weekend.
You tweet a lot all the time.
I know, but... Okay, here we go.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
So Sebastian Vettel will be back. He will be doing the show run in his RB7. I'm not going to try and say the name of the event, but on September 9th. I don't know the name of the event, but it's a Red Bull show run, and Daniel Ricciardo will be driving the RB8 for this show. I also saw a thing, apparently they were in a meeting at the beginning of the year discussing this stuff, and Max is like, what are you guys talking about? And Helmut Marko went, no. He was like, you're not allowed. So people are like, why can't Daniel Ricciardo be allowed, like, or Max Verstappen, and he was like, because he's the one that's going to be like, what's the record in this car?
Yeah.
And try and beat the record, and he's like, that's not what those cars are meant to do. So, like,
Yeah.
he was like, I literally was like, you're not doing it. So, someone told Max Verstappen no.
Shut him down, please.
Shut him down. Yes. But yes, then we'll move. Yeah, up. Not really anything else besides this next part. It happened over the weekend. There were obviously special helmets and stuff for this weekend. Lance Stroll had one that was raising money for the wildfires that were in Canada.
Yep.
Also, had different QR codes that Crofty and stuff were ripping on during the practice because they're like, how are you going to scan the QR code from your TV? Like when he's in the car, like you can barely see it because they were small on like top of his helmet, but it took you to like Lance Stroll's favorite places in Montreal, like his favorite restaurant where he carded as a kid, the Bell Center. Like it was like random like sightseeing, but they were like, how are you going to scan the damn QR code that's like this big on this TV screen while his car's flying by?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It wasn't.
That's
yeah.
a good idea, just poorly executed.
Yes, very poorly executed.
Like put it on, like tweet it out.
Yes.
They
literally tweeted out pictures, but they never even tweeted out that many of the top of the helmet. Like, if you want people to scan the QR code, tweet a picture of the top of the helmet.
Of it on the top of the helmet, yeah. Or, like, in the helmet release. Can you see it in the helmet release? Like, hey, guys, here's my special helmet. Like, here's a
No,
QR
I'm
code.
trying to think. Like, the video, I feel like he's, like, moving it. But then they did post other pictures. I think they went to, like, local spots in Montreal and, like, post the picture with, like, the local cuisine, so like poutine and the helmet sitting there. Like they did do a good job with that stuff, but and like him raising money, like I like that the drivers are doing that and stuff this year. But yeah, the QR codes really didn't hit. I wish he could find out like how many people scan the QR codes because it's probably like 3.
I was gonna say he'll have those stats.
Yeah,
so there's a picture of
Lance Stroll. Can you tweet them out?
There's a picture of the helmet that he quote tweeted. Lance, that he quote tweeted, and there's nothing even. Oh, here it is. The QR codes featured across the map/helmet lead to various locations that are personal and meaningful to Lance. Go check them out. First of all, it's not one QR code.
No, there's a bunch.
There's 5 of them stamped. What I'm assuming is the locations of them on the map that's overlaid on the helmet, which is again cool idea. Cool idea. But yes, they are puny. Like even in the pictures on this screen, they are small. And
I feel like the helmet was white. Yeah. So I feel like the map wasn't even that easy to see.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't recognize that it was a map until I stared at it for a while. Yeah. And I read it. Which, like, again, cool idea. Great, fantastic idea. Whoever, if Lance came up with this idea on his own, fantastic. Like, that's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bring people to these favorite places that you've had. But it's true. You're going 200 miles per hour. Nobody's going to be able to grab that. And even when you are sitting still, you have the halo around you, which is going to obscure it. And yeah, these things are puny.
They're literally the size of a stamp. They're like a postage stamp. They're so small.
That's pretty bad.
No, there could have been a better way to do it.
He should have put one and then had it go to like a link tree. And just even Lance Stroll's favorite spots, and then boom, 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 right there. Like,
or if you want to do the map idea, make the whole helmet a map, and then like put the Bell Center, put a logo for the Bell Center where you go, put a spot for your favorite restaurant where that is. Like, put that stuff.
Right, because here's also the thing: you just pointed out a great thing. There's no way you know what QR code is which. So, like, you said the one.
Unless you're from Montreal and you're staring at the map and you're like, yeah, that's where the Bell Center is.
And you said one.
That's where the hockey arena is.
You said one was a restaurant. Like, if I take 2 tries to scan this QR code and I don't pull up the restaurant, I'm being like, I'm
changing. Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, poor execution.
Yeah.
Poor execution on Strovovich's part.
Cool concept on Strovovich's part.
I really just wanted a reason to put his full name in there.
Cool concept, but yes.
Yeah.
His helmet, Valtteri Bottas's helmet, stellar as always. He has not really missed once this season with the helmet. He's the honorary Australian. He's the honorary Canadian. Well, he showed up on Friday rocking the blue buffalo plaid and matching hat. And now you can go buy the blue buffalo plaid shirt on his website.
Oh, that's cool.
But his helmet had a little fire scene going on. There's some groundhogs on there. And then there's one of him, I think, chopping down a tree, but dressed like he showed up dressed. And I also like he involves his girlfriend in the design every time. She's the reason for the design. Every time he posts about a new helmet, he's like designed by, and it's his girlfriend, Tiffany. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just happened to scroll upon that tweet. It says Canada helmet, blah, 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 and then it says designed by Tiffany Cromwell.
Yeah, that's his girlfriend.
Hey.
He was like a cyclist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This helmet's this is really cool. It's such
he has fun with his helmets.
It's such a fun, unique design, which is like it makes so much
like the sense. One he had wasn't it his face with the hair? Was that Australia? The mullet?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I know Checo had one but it was like promo. It was an Indiana Jones helmet.
Wait, it was a promo for the new movie?
Yeah, I just like you know how Pierre Gasly had the Flash one?
Yeah.
Checo had one for Indiana Jones.
Oh my god,
he literally posted about it once. Like you never would have known.
Yeah, it's got two pictures of it. You're only seeing the top down of the helmet, and then it's Indiana Jones, the poster.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, so and then the best one before Charles Leclerc drama, the goalie helmet the Canadians gave Gunther Steiner. I mean, that was sick. With the Haas logo on the side, there was a groundhog on it as well. I was going to mention later on when we first started talking about the race that we actually got our wish. There was a lot of NHL F1 crossovers this weekend, but the biggest one was Gunther Steiner going to the Canadians, meeting 3 of the players. He got to dress in full goalie gear because apparently he grew up playing goalie, got to go on the ice. He brought his daughter. But yeah, they gave him this custom helmet that was sick. But yes, the one that caused the most drama had a touching tribute.
Before you jump in on this again, who got the Flash helmet again?
Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, I had Esteban.
It was for last week. No, Esteban always has special Spider-Man. Esteban's a huge Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe that's why I was thinking.
Because I said it makes sense that Esteban's Marvel and Pierre Gasly is DC. I don't know why, but it makes sense.
That does make sense, yeah.
I can't tell you why Pierre Gasly's more DC, but Esteban Ocon is obsessed with Spider-Man. That's why I said the weekend he won, Tom Holland was in Monaco. It was like perfect. He was my fangirl and his little heart out. Esty bestie. Who are you looking for now?
I'm looking for Pierre's Flash helmet, but let's talk about the real the helmet.
That was what was the last race before Canada?
I don't.
That's what he had the Flash helmet for because it was right when the movie came out.
Yeah, he doesn't have any tweets about it, but all right, it's whatever.
No, I think I saw it on Instagram. Pierre Gasly does not use Twitter much. He uses Instagram a lot more.
His pinned tweet is from September 6th, 2020.
Yeah, so go to his.
Yeah.
He literally has merch because it was like a joke for a while. This is why, like, Esteban Ocon figured out the nickname from content creators, women content creators. Other women content creators realized that Pierre Gasly likes everything on Instagram. Everything. Yeah. So then it became like an inside joke. Even when he was with AlphaTauri, they like did a video walking into his driver's room and he had like 3 phones and he was liking everything. So like he even has merch coming out now. This is liked by Pierre Gasly. So it's just like But Charles Leclerc had a beautiful tribute helmet to. I've been practicing this all day. Gil Villeneuve.
Sure.
Let's go for that. Old Ferrari driver, legend. The circuit at the Canadian Grand Prix is named after him. He had a great tribute helmet. It literally was like absolutely perfect, black and red. He wore it for FP1. Well, what we got of FP1. Yeah. And then did not come back out with it with FP2 and not at all on Saturday. And then it came out that it did kind of blow up out of thin air, but Gil's son is a known Charles Leclerc hater. There's lots of headlines where he makes comments against Charles Leclerc. It's just a thing. So people thought he told Charles Leclerc he wasn't allowed to wear it because it was just Charles Leclerc. People were like, if any other driver is going to be making that helmet, this is why. But then it came out that it was because of the sponsors. Right. I was like, what's he supposed to do about the sponsors?
Right. Which, yeah, I'm happy you said that because I didn't fully understand that either when you first told me.
Yeah, like what is
the deal with the
what is Charles Leclerc supposed to do about the sponsors? Lose money? Like pay the sponsors? Be like, hey, you're not going to be on the helmet.
Yeah.
But then it came out that apparently Charles Leclerc and the team didn't ask for permission to use that image of the helmet to pay tribute. I mean, it wasn't like a tribute. He was like disregarding his career or whatever, but it was still a good tribute. And apparently, the sister and mother have control over Gil Vigneault's or Vinay's, whatever you say it's, image.
Right.
So, and they have like all the intellectual properties. They have the rights to that. So they didn't ask for permission. Charles Leclerc and Ferrari didn't ask if they could do that. So, but it only ever came out that it just seemed like they just said no, like we don't want you paying this tribute. So there was no context, and it got blown out of proportion. So then they put a whole statement out saying that Charles Leclerc called the sister and mother, like apologized, but apparently they were like, you should invite us to the race. So they came out to the race, they took a picture with the helmet, then they let him wear it for the rest of the weekend. And then I saw that he had a whole plan. He was the one that came up with the entire design idea himself.
Right.
His designer came out saying that, and then he gave it to someone that used to be a Ferrari employee. Maybe he might have been there since when Gil was there, but like he's since left the team and is now with Aston Martin, I think. Like he gifted him the helmet after. Like he wasn't making any profit off of it. So that's people like there was no need to just be like, no, you can't wear it when it was a touching tribute. That's what people are like. They should really take notice from the Schumachers because Esteban Ocon made a tribute helmet to Michael Schumacher one time, and like there was no problem there. I mean, I know Mick and Esteban I think are pretty close, but like still, what?
Yeah, but I mean,
why are you getting upset about a tribute helmet?
If the helmet was right, like the helmet was made obviously, in honor of Gil and everything, and then if you get, I don't understand personally how you can get upset about the sponsorships because you're right. It's like, what are we supposed to do, huh?
Yeah,
like
just take them off,
right? And it's like, what kind of blowout is gonna come? Is gonna come out of that for Charles? But it's just, it's weird to me that the son was like, don't do this, and then the mother and daughter were like, no, don't do it. And then we're like, all right, actually, it's okay. You can wear it.
And like, I guess if they just reached out and asked for permission at the start, it would have been fine. But like, it's Charles freaking Leclerc. He's like this. Obviously, I don't know him personally, but everything I've always read is he's like the nicest man alive. So like, he's not gonna tarnish your father's reputation with a helmet design.
It all seems very weird. And yeah, exactly. It's not like he did it like with like ill intentions.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like he was. It would be worse if he designed it, and then somebody came out and was like, "Hey, this really, really looks like, this guy's helmet," or like something
without saying it's a tribute. Yeah.
Yes, and then Charles being like, "What are you talking about?" Like he clearly had his intentions of. This helmet is designed to be an honor to this person here. Like,
I mean, to the point, like, Ferrari had a bunch of content. They posted pictures. Charles Leclerc posted pictures. They put out the video describing why he did the helmet. Like, it was a French-speaking Ferrari driver who people have compared Charles Leclerc to because, like, he gave it his all on the So,
I mean, that's
Charles Leclerc probably identifies with that driver more than any other Ferrari driver. Like,
that's pretty.
It was. It took away from the tribute. I feel like it. I feel like it kind of ruined it for how cool the helmet looked.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
I mean, you go from this big thing of, hey, this helmet is meant to honor, your dad, and then to, oh shit, I may have like screwed up with this helmet, to then all of a sudden, like, oh no, you can wear it again.
You can wear it.
People don't care anymore about the story about honoring the dad. People are going to care about, oh, look at how the family
the controversy.
Yeah,
That's what people are going to be like. What's actually the meaning? But yeah, that was. Charles Leclerc's probably going to think twice now with every special helmet that he uses.
I don't think he should.
But,
I don't think he should. I'll leave it at that. I think what he did was never in the wrong. And sure, he didn't ask. Like, fine, if you want to put any blame on him, put it there. Fine, reach out to the parties first, and maybe that's the lesson Charles will take from it. But I don't think he did anything wrong.
No, I didn't think so. But yes, moving on to the full Canadian recap. Let me change this. We'll first start off with the podium. Obviously, we mentioned it with Owen's meme of the week. It was the legends of all podiums.
It was a great podium.
Max Verstappen winning the whole thing. No shock there. I'm just going to write into F1 TV and ask them to put the words to the national anthem up at the bottom of the screen because I just feel like I should learn them at this point. Fernando Alonso, P2, and then Lewis Hamilton, P3. And both Ferrari drivers, P4, P5. We'll get into it. Their roller coaster of a weekend. But yes, like I said, they took that selfie in the post-race conference.
You're not technically wrong.
No. But someone's like, if you go back in time and tell 2021 F1 fans that this podium exists with this selfie and they all look happy, no one would believe you.
No one would believe you. Yeah.
No one would believe you. Especially the Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. I
was reading a bunch of articles after the race, and I read a couple today that like were talking about how a lot of reporters and people saw Max go up to, or Max and Lewis interacting with each other after the race, and like they were all smiles, they were all being respectful and everything, and it's like everyone was the feeling that I got from it was like everybody let out like a collective like sigh of relief. Because it was like, obviously, when those two are in the same room, the first thing people are going to think of is 2021.
Abu Dhabi.
Like, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing that, like, it's the first thing people are going to think of no matter what. And it's like, people are automatically going to assume, like, those two hate each other because of that. But, like, you look at it now and you're like, oh, okay. Like, cool. Yeah.
I feel like Max Verstappen probably doesn't care because he knows Lewis Hamilton isn't his competition this season or last season.
But
like he also wasn't that way with Charles Leclerc last year when they were fighting for 1 and 2. But he just maybe has respect for Lewis Hamilton now. But yeah, there was obviously that picture. Like we said, the whole weekend was kind of wild.
Let's jump into FP1.
Yeah, FP1. So FP1.
The 3 minutes that we got of it.
Yeah, I would say, how long was it? 3 minutes. Valtteri Bottas was the fastest of FP1.
Yep.
Followed by both Aston Martin drivers. Because I literally just had to scroll back. Pierre Gasly caused the yellow flag, which then turned into a red flag, which had no reason to turn into a red flag. But then it came out that it was because the CCTV cameras throughout the track weren't working.
Yep.
Apparently, right before FP1 or the night before, a lot of teams lost power and were having issues getting things back on.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yeah, so a lot of I don't know the whole like paddock because they were saying a lot of the tracks are temporary paddocks like in North America. Obviously, in Europe, if they race there every year, those structures are like set in stone.
They're existing.
Like Canada makes theirs year after year. Like they put it back up. I think same with Miami and stuff. Same with Monaco. So I guess the infrastructure isn't the greatest. So they lost power. I mean, there was also storms there, just like we had last weekend. So yeah, they lost power, but apparently the cameras weren't working. So it came out after like more than half of FP1 wasting away that they couldn't get the cameras back on, so they couldn't really see anything on the track. So apparently it came out, if they didn't see on the normal TV coverage that Pierre Gasly stopped, they wouldn't have known.
Oh.
Because they couldn't see the track, so it could have ended pretty bad.
Right.
But then FP1 turned it into a nature show. We got to see, I think, about 50 groundhog sightings.
Which that cracks me up. It really reminded me of like the coverage you get on like a rain delay of a baseball game.
Yes. It's like whatever they were talking about.
They're trying to find whatever they can to fill the air, and it sucks that they had to sit there, but like the cameras could have flipped on at any second, and if there was more than 8 minutes left on the clock, they would have been like, hey, let's go. Let's you guys can start going out there again.
So they went from the commentary it was a nature show. That's when Jensen Button started roasting Lance Stroll's helmet in QR codes. That's when I texted you. Anyone listening from Philadelphia, Phillies games knows John Kruk. I tweeted, if you're from Philly, this is a comment you will understand. The commentary between the Sky Sports crew when there's a red flag and during practice is the equivalent to Kruk's comments during a Phillies game. Like, they were, and then I literally tweeted right after, currently they're talking about butter and maple syrup.
They were doing everything they actively could to fill the airtime. And props on them for how well they did it. I mean, I won't lie. The moment the red flag was going and I was sitting there watching it, I was like, I'm checked out. I was not paying attention.
I was too. I was like, I can actually focus on work. But then, I was eating lunch, I think, when FP1 was on. And I was like, okay, I can act like I'm just eating lunch. But their commentary, I had them playing in my ears. And I was like, this commentary is hilarious. And the best is they don't even turn the cameras on to them. So you're just getting like B-roll of everything going on.
You're just watching. It's background noise, essentially.
Yeah, the driver is just chilling in the garage. Like, it was so stupid.
Yeah, it was a mess. And it was like halfway through FP1 when it dawned on me. I'm like, we're not getting this practice session.
So then people thought they were gonna. Well, then it started coming out they were gonna extend FP2 by 30 minutes. So they started at 30 minutes early. Owen did not realize.
I did not realize that. Well, because I swore I heard. During FP1, they said there needs to be 2.5 hours between each session. So
they did.
To me, that clicked in my head, and I was like, okay, so they can't. I didn't know times off the top of my head of when the session started and whatnot, but obviously they had the time to put in that half-hour time slot at the start. But I just was like, oh, it'll just be an hour and a half. It'll just go from 2 to 3:30, whatever time FP2 was, instead of it being, hey, from 1:30 to 3 is what it's going to be now instead of 2 to 3. I thought it was going to be backloaded, the extra half hour, but it was front loaded. I
totally forgot this comment during FP1. Apparently it came over McLaren's radio. Both drivers were sitting in the cockpits of their car, and Oscar suggested, in the absence of car, we should organize some groundhog racing and placing bets.
Yes. Great
Oscar Piastri, I'm slowly becoming a fan of yours.
He's a great
People say he has no personality. He has personality. After that one. But yes, then FP2 was fine.
FP3 was fine.
Fine. And then it was time for qualifying.
Quality in the rain.
I'm happy I missed it. For Ferrari's sake. I mean, for Charles Leclerc's sake, I'm happy I missed it. In the rain. It was an intense quali. It was Q2 was the Alexander Albon show. Master of a drive. He obviously out-qualified Charles Leclerc.
How everybody? Wasn't he pole at one point?
Well, in Q2. That's what I'm meaning. He got out of Q2. Charles Leclerc did not. Because they screwed up, and Charles Leclerc once again asked for specific tires, and they said, no, stay out. And then the tires weren't ready when they put on the softs, I think. So once again, they do not listen to their drivers. I'm going to take my 5 seconds. They don't listen to the drivers. I also would love... No, don't count it. I would also... Charles Leclerc, I've never seen him so pissed off in post-qualifying interviews. The man was fuming.
Is he rightly so?
Yes, as he should be. But yes, I don't know what happened. He went into the motorhome. He came out for a Sky Sports Italian interview with Fred and took over and was like the happiest man alive. But I would love to know what he said in that post-race interview or post-quali
Debrief.
breakdown or whatever. Yeah, debrief. Thank you. Because they listened to him on Sunday. They listened to both of them on Sunday. And they actually had good strategy. But people like Charles Leclerc went in there with his contract and a lighter and was like, this is going to happen if you don't listen to me. Like, do you want me to stay? Because I'm not going to stay.
I just don't.
That was my 5 seconds.
The only thing that I'll say about this, and I don't know, I feel like I'm always taking like middle of the road type things with like tons of stuff. But like, I don't fully understand of you have a long running history of fucking up the strategy as a strategist, right? You have a long running history at this point. Almost every race this season, you could point out a moment where Charles and Carlos have been screwed over by the people on the wall. Yeah. And for you to be as bold as just like, no, we're not going to listen to our drivers when the drivers are the ones out there on the course,
right?
Feeling the tires on their car, like under the car, like for you just to be like, no, it's just like,
stay out there.
To me, that is wild because if I'm Fred as well, and Fred may have done this, we don't know. If I'm Fred, I'm going to the people on the pit wall and going to the strategists and everything and being like, we need to switch something up. We need to do something differently. And what we're going to do differently is we're going to listen to our fucking drivers. And it's like, I don't get it. I like I said, again, I completely understand that there's a need and a huge benefit that can come from data from the car and your strategist can definitely and absolutely make the right call sometimes, but they have not made the right call in a very long time. So they're doing the same thing over and over again and they're expecting a different result. Well, guess what? You did something different and you got a different result. Like, holy shit. Like,
well, and they even posted after the quali results and they were like unpredictable like session. People in the comments, if you want to chuckle, go back and read the comments. That people on Twitter and Instagram, people are fuming in the comments. Sure. People are like, unpredictable. It's predictable. It's predictable that you're going to make a mistake. It's predictable what the conditions were like. Like, just listen to your damn drivers.
It is predictable, and it's just like it makes no sense. No sense. But
obviously Carlos Sainz got a 3-place grid penalty for impeding. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I don't know if it was also the strategist not telling him who was behind him. But Pierre Gasly was pissed at him.
It's partly that, and it's partly, there's, again, taking the middle of the road here. There's blames on both sides of that, of like, because it happened multiple times, like, he probably has to be a little bit more aware, but also at the same time, there's some disconnect between the pit wall and Carlos,
the drivers. Yeah.
In terms of like, this person's coming behind you, or, hey, blue flags, somebody's coming behind you, let them, like.
I think he impeded like 3 times on people, but he only got hit for the one with Pierre Gasly because Pierre was fuming on the radio. Nico Hülkenberg also got a 3-place grid penalty. It was a shock. Nico Hülkenberg was P2.
When you said that to me, you know what? And it like did a double
because you didn't. We obviously couldn't watch.
Double take too, and you were like, yeah, Hülkenberg's P5. He got a 3-place grid penalty, and I like was like, oh, okay, and then like stopped. I was like,
what?
He got P5 with a 3-place grid penalty, and you were like, yeah. I was like, so he was P2. He was front row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. I was so mad when you told me that.
Yeah, and then there was someone else. Was it Yuki? Or no, Yuki's I don't think they went. Yuki's they continued. Yuki will also summoned to the stewards, but I don't think they went through with the penalty for him.
Oh.
But yeah, it was wild. So that brings us to Sunday. The the race starts. It was a normal start. We got our wish. We got a safety car very quick because George Russell crashed. I don't know which order we should go in. Should we just start with Mercedes? George Russell crashed. Yeah, I was so ready to vote for him for driver of the day because they fixed his front wing. They didn't fix his front wing. Got all the way up to P8 again, I think.
P7 or P8, yeah.
He was in the points.
He was like P17.
Yeah, he was having an insane recovery drive, and then he had to stop the car because of the damage.
Yeah,
which sucked.
I think they were worried about damage to the. It was either the brakes or the rear axle.
I think it was the rear axle. But yeah, that was fine. I was so ready to vote for him for driver of the day because it was killer performance. Obviously, they all know Hamilton was on the podium, and it was not it was an easy battle, but him and Fernando Alonso were going wheel to wheel for a little bit, but Fernando Alonso easily overtook Lewis Hamilton. It was like a Red Bull overtake, like it wasn't even a fight. But
yeah, it was very fun to watch Mercedes again.
Yes, it was.
We haven't been able to say that for a while, and since
Brazil of last year.
Yeah,
when George won.
Even last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember.
2 weeks ago.
That was fun to watch, and it's just this is good because I like the feeling that if it seems like the gap is closing between Red Bull and
with Aston Martin and Mercedes,
yes,
both,
and even if it isn't, we're gonna get a good second place fight between Mercedes and Aston Martin, and I love that. And it's I'm all for that,
Well, and I think I saw today both of them are gonna have upgrades for Austria, Aston Martin and Mercedes. Yeah, or no, maybe Aston Martin in Austria, and then Mercedes is gonna have, I think, a big package in Silverstone. No, someone asked Toto Wolff, "What's the race you could win this season?" And he said Silverstone with a lot of confidence. So
that would be good for them. That would be a huge morale boost for Mercedes.
Yeah.
You win on your home turf, after bringing some major updates to the car.
Two English drivers. Yeah,
that's
Silverstone would explode. Silverstone would explode.
Look like Philly after the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But yes, that was Mercedes. There wasn't really anything else, I don't think. It just George was a standout until he had to stop.
Yeah.
And Logan. So I'll go Williams next because let's save Williams because Alex Albon deserves.
It's a good topic to talk about.
Yeah. We'll go to Red Bull. Talk about Checo because Checo struggled once again. He was also out in Q2.
Yeah.
During quali. And he really didn't have... I feel like he got higher up into the points during the race, but then he fell back. He was stuck in the DRS train, I know that, but... He did not have a good... he's struggling. It said he's failed to make Q3 in the last 3 races. Because we have this, Barcelona, and Monaco. Yeah, he has not made Q3 in the last 3 races.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're like Piastri has. So there's take that with what you.
Perez ended in 6th. So
okay, not awful, but could be better.
Terrible, but you would expect,
he's in the bullet of a car. What is he doing?
Yeah, with the monster of a car Red Bull has been this year, and the struggles that Ferrari has been facing this year, both of the Ferrari drivers finishing in front of him looks bad. Looks bad.
I saw someone say they're like, is it actually the car or is it just Max?
Well, yeah, I think I'm starting to think that it's more Max.
Max, me too.
60, 70% Max, 30% the car.
Well, and maybe
we've said so many times that man is a machine and just doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe, obviously we've said a few times with Max and the gap that he's had in the beginning, the car's not being used to its full potential.
Yeah,
Checo, maybe he's using his car to the full potential and it's not that good.
and it's not that good. Yeah,
Could be.
I don't want to see Checo struggle because I like Checo, but whoa, dropping
I
the
almost kicked
laptop.
my whole thing over. No.
That would have been fantastic.
Because
No,
the shorts I'm wearing don't match his sweatshirt. So.
I would have also hated to see your laptop go flying. Yeah, I like Checo. I like Checo a lot. I don't want to see him struggle, but do I also want a nice, do I want Checo to have to work for something to get back to second place? Do I want to see a fight for second place with as many people as possible? Absolutely, I do. So, you know what? I'm okay with the falling behind as long as there's all right, I'm catching back up now. And in Abu Dhabi, we've got 4 people fighting for second place. It would be so nice. I
feel like it could come down to Checo, Hamilton, and Alonso.
I would love that.
At the rate we're going.
I would love that. That's the thing. At that point, Abu Dhabi, I don't give a fuck about Max. Put him on the Put him on the pole. Get him out of the way.
Well, at that point, he'll already have won the championship, so it's not even going to matter what he does. He can DNF, and he's still going to win. Yeah, but I would rather. That was like last year with Checo and Charles Leclerc. No one cared about Max; he already won. But it was the battle between Checo and Charles Leclerc. That was what people were fighting for. But yeah, that would be an intense battle with those 3. Drive to Survive would probably cry if they got that battle.
Oh my god, they would eat that up.
They would literally be like, give us every camera right now. But yeah, that was really Red Bull, obviously Max. Max doesn't even get shown on the screen anymore until he wins the race because he's so far ahead.
No, honestly, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. We know he's winning. We know he's gonna be huge gap to everybody, albeit this one was smaller than the ones we've seen in the past, but that probably has something to do with the burn in his car. But
Max said he was struggling too. He said I saw someone from Red Bull say they think if Ferrari had a better position, for the starting grid, it probably would have been a battle between the two. The car, I don't think the Red Bull car liked the Montreal track. That's what Max was also saying. He was struggling with the track a little bit. That's why. But I mean, he also complains about the downshifts and then goes fastest lap, or complains about the tire degradation and then goes fastest lap. Yeah, I mean, Checo did get fastest lap, so he at least had that point for him.
Good work, Checo. Keep it interesting.
Good work. And congrats on your soon new baby. His wife is pregnant again.
Oh, wow. Hey, congrats.
She's my age or younger. She might be your age, and it's her 4th child with Checo. Oh. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I rescind my congratulations.
We'll move on to Ferrari. Obviously, we went off about quali. It was awful. We won't go on. It is good to see that their practice sessions and their race pace look good. They literally just have to figure out qualifying. If they can figure out qualifying, they might be on the podium.
Yeah.
If they just figure it out. Apparently, so after Barcelona, or after Spain, they had tire testing the next 2 days. A few teams did, but Ferrari was one of them. Apparently, they figured it out. They figured out how to make the tires last. That's why they both started on mediums and went 30-plus laps in the mediums.
Right.
And then there was a picture when Charles Leclerc parked his car at the end of the race, and the tires they put on more than halfway through the race, they looked like they were just put on. They looked fine. So they finally are figuring out something.
I would
just figure out qualifying.
Hope the big test for Ferrari would be next week during quali, is because now you have
it's on Friday too.
Right. Now you have the I listen to my drivers under your belt type, you had an experience of we listened to them and it worked, so hopefully if the situation comes around next week not this weekend, but
Austria.
Next weekend, in Austria during quali. I know it's a sprint weekend and everything, so it's a little bit different, but you listen to your drivers and you figure it the fuck out, because it's literally, it's like, it's insane how much rests on a good qualifying, and it's like
just getting that good position. Like, Charles Leclerc probably could have been P2 and reacted as quick as Max did off the start and been wheel to wheel. That's when we would have seen Max on our TV screen.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah.
That is. I think. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the pressure is mounting for Ferrari in the coming weeks. Now that you're kind of seeing, it was a great race by Charles and Charles and Carlos, to finish 4th and 5th from where they started, but.
And hearing Carlos isn't going to fight yet felt so nice to hear.
Yeah.
People were like, I think Ferrari finally figured out who their number one driver is. Like,
if this is the step in the right direction for Ferrari, but it's like the first 5 steps down like a 5-mile road. It's like we're just starting.
There's still a lot of season left.
Just starting, and we're gonna figure it. We're trying to figure it out, but we've got a long road ahead of us, and it's like,
no, I think they might be on the right track, hopefully. Fingers crossed. There's only so much I can take every weekend.
Oh yeah.
I came out in the movie and I literally looked at my phone and I was like, what? To the point where Mom thought I was talking about Charles Leclerc starting on P17, but that was, you guys were on the 17th hole.
We're on the 17th hole, yeah.
We actually weren't. But yes, that was Ferrari. Hopefully it goes up for them. I don't think really much about Aston Martin, just besides it's literally Fernando Alonso's show. Lance Stroll's never to be found during a race.
Yeah, his dad has to be so upset at times. Like,
go look at the Ryanair tweet today.
Oh, I saw.
They tweeted back at someone.
Hold on, I found the Ferrari tweet where they said unpredictable thing, so I want to leave that up. Ryanair, here we go.
The first retweet.
Yikes. As a part of my ongoing what if blank joined to F1 series, I wanted to try something a little different, and then the idea hit me. What if Ryanair joined F1? Wait, is this... Hold on. First of all, is Ryanair a French...
they're like an airline.
Airline? Okay. The first thing is...
They troll people on Twitter all the time, and it's a lot of the time F1-related content. They must be F1 fans, but they troll people all the time. But that response to the quote retweet that says Lance Stroll's dad could buy a seat, literally...
It's, yeah.
Can pay for the seat, too.
Lance Stroll can pay for this seat, too. God damn. That is...
Yeah. If you look at the replies...
There's one on their thing that says, OnlyFans creator Elle Brooke talks about her future kids finding about her career. Quote, they can cry in a Ferrari. Ryanair quote tweeted it and said,
yeah,
like Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, they literally, every week there's something about F1. But the Lance Stroll one took me out. But yes, there wasn't really anything. Yeah, but they're driving in the same car. They have the same packages, the same upgrades. Like, Lance Stroll, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head the other day. I think we were watching the race. I can't remember if it was then, but I think you said it to me of I think Lance Strollovich is just bad. It's like...
Yeah, I think he's just bad.
He's just a bad driver. And it's like
he doesn't crash.
It's
becoming he's not
more and more apparent that it's yeah. You're pretty
because
bad.
I think... Because obviously last year their car sucked. Sebastian Vettel was still struggling. I think if you put Sebastian Vettel on this year's Aston Martin, he'd be on the podium every week like Fernando Alonso.
Absolutely.
And then it's not the car.
The podium
the driver.
if Seb stayed one more year and had this Aston Martin, the podium would be Max, Alonso, Seb. And Seb and Alonso would just be flip-flopping places all the time.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it would be.
Seb, you left one season too early.
Yeah.
One season too early. But yeah. And then Haas, there wasn't much besides Hulkenberg on the front row. He's insane in qualifying.
He's really
like
good.
Charles Leclerc in qualifying. Yeah. Like, he pulls it. I don't know where he pulls that out of that car, but he didn't end.
Magic Haas touch.
Also, just like to take a moment and recognize that every important person in Haas, Günther Steiner, Kevin Magnussen, and Nico Hulkenberg are all girl dads. I just think that's a fun fact. Because they posted, like, Happy Father's Day and a picture of each of them with their daughters, and they're all girl dads.
That's what makes Günther so lovable.
Wait, the picture? Gordon Ramsay was there this weekend at the race. He's there a lot, but he was there this weekend at the race. But Haas posted a picture with him and Günther Steiner, and they're like, how many F-bombs? Kind of like how many F-bombs. Yeah.
I want that in next year's Drive to Survive season.
Yeah. Put both of them on Hot Ones, because Gordon Ramsay, I think, said the F word like 100 times on that F1. Hot Ones episode.
On Hot Ones. I'm writing the Hot Ones now.
I need an F1 driver on Hot Ones. I need Daniel Ricciardo on Hot Ones.
I wouldn't be shocked if the next season has one.
Yeah.
Would not be shocked.
I can see Red Bull doing that kind of promo. I can see it. It has them written all over it.
Yeah.
But then we'll do McLaren and then Williams. Am I missing anyone?
I don't think so.
Well, Alfa Romeo wasn't really anything.
Nothing really happened with
like
Alfa Romeo.
Outstanding.
Nothing. Rooting for Yuki did not turn out well.
No. Well, someone said it's about time we start talking about AlphaTauri. They're last in the constructors in the championship.
Yeah, another one of the articles I was reading today was how Williams has now jumped over AlphaTauri in the constructor standings. Thank you,
and
Alexander Albon
and Haas. Like, how?
Yeah,
but yeah. So then McLaren, they had a decent weekend. They both were in Q3, and then. I knew I had another, article. And then Lando Norris got a 5-second time penalty for unsportsmanlike behavior. Literally, Ted Kravitz, I think, he was having himself a TED talk. He was pissed.
So mad. It was so funny.
He literally was like, giving Lando Norris an unsportsmanlike penalty is literally like giving a puppy, like taking a bone away from a puppy. And So Russell's crash set the action in motion. Lap 12 of 70 of the Canadian Grand Prix, George Russell had just wiped his Mercedes down the outside wall of turn 8 through 9 chicane, causing damage. With the pit stop window having been flung open by Pierre Gasly 2 laps earlier, a number of drivers having followed the Frenchman into the pits. Norris from P8 on the grid had climbed to P6 when the safety car was called, behind his teammate Oscar Piastri with the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc right on his tail. I'm reading this right from F1.com. As Norris and Leclerc sailed past the limping Mercedes of Russell into turn 10, Norris received the call from his engineer to tell him the safety car had been deployed. So they said, Lando, safety car, you were the second car, we were boxing this lap. Norris seamlessly instructed that McLaren would be double stacking Piastri and himself. So he slowed down. He paced down Montero's back straight that could be described as, this is blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, I'm reading the same article you are as you read it.
So so the back straight is where he picked up the penalty because he's apparently driving too slow. But instead of saying that, they said unsportsmanlike behavior.
If you read a little bit further down, so it says, during the safety car period, the driver Norris slowed to allow a gap to form between his teammate in car 81, Piastri, and him. In doing so, he delayed the cars behind. There was a significant difference in speed between car 4 and 81 between turn 10 and 13, approximately 50 kilometers per hour. Then it says, according to Article 12.2.1.I of the ISC, refers to any infringement of the principles of fairness in competition behavior in an unsportsmanlike manner or attempt to influence the results of the competition is in a way that is contrary to sporting ethics. So to put that in layman's terms, it's basically, I think how the stewards saw it was Piastri or Norris got the call that they were going to be boxing. Mm-hmm. He didn't like it because he felt that they were going to get double stacked. And then he intentionally slowed down to create that gap so there was more time to not get double stacked, but then in turn slowed cars down behind him. And then the stewards saw that as unsportsmanlike.
But yeah, okay, that was, and I know they didn't even tell him until after the race. Like, they didn't want to tell him because they know he was going to be unsportsmanlike in his car.
saying though, like, hey, you were unsportsmanlike is such a weird way to put that.
Yeah.
Like, to explain that situation. Like, at least provide a little bit more context of just, like, driving slowly in the safety car period. Like,
they've literally said that before for other drivers, that they were driving, like, unnecessarily slow.
At the end, put this out and be like, hey, we thought that he was driving too slow and was trying to, but he was causing other cars to slow down. And it's like, okay, like, but to me, that's not unsportsmanlike. Sportsmanlike is getting out of your car at the end of a race that you're unhappy with and going and, like, shoving a driver and, like, getting pissed off.
Yeah, like IndyCar, that they literally almost got into a fist fight.
Right. That's unsportsmanlike, Yeah,
that's unsportsmanlike. Yeah, I was right there with Ted on every single thing he was saying, but he was pissed off.
Cracking me up because he was like, he was talking about it and he was like, he's the nicest guy on the grid.
Nicest guy.
All this stuff. And I was like, he is really, like, from what I've seen and read about him, he is super nice. So him being unsportsmanlike just seems very, like, out of context for Lando Norris. Like,
yeah, like, it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
it wasn't like like Max. On the other hand, maybe in the past he would have gotten unsportsmanlike.
Right. If you would have said to me, hey, during the Canadian GP, somebody got unsportsmanlike 5-second time penalty.
Who do you think it was?
I would have been like, probably Max, maybe Alonso.
Yeah.
If I, like, had to throw, like, a wild card out there, I would say, like, maybe Oscar Piastri, just because, like,
I could also see, like, Pierre Gasly, because I think the FIA hate Pierre Gasly. Like,
yeah, like, my mind, like, wouldn't even go to Lando Norris. And it's such a weird way to describe what he did. Being like, that was unsportsmanlike. That's what we're going to call it on. Be like, what? Like,
yeah, no, I didn't. It didn't make sense. Make sense.
Yeah, it was very, very, very odd, but it's stupid penalty too.
And I don't know if he dropped down at all because he kept overtaking. Because then they're like, well, now he'll just have to get a 5-second gap.
He dropped down far. I mean, he finished 13th, but
yeah, but he was in the points.
Yeah, let me see if
he was in the points. I know that.
It just has time retired for Max. Doesn't have splits for everybody. Yeah, I think he definitely would have finished in the points because actually 1, 2, 3, 4. He would have jumped up 4 spots. Because he was 3 seconds behind Pierre Gasly, 3 seconds behind Piastri, 4 seconds behind Bottas, 4 seconds behind Stroll, and then 9 seconds behind Esteban Ocon. So he would have went from 13th to 9th. Yeah. So he got kicked out of the points because he was
driving too slow,
unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that's a bad call.
And then last but not least, Williams. It was obviously not a good day for Logan Sargent. He didn't even crash. But he had to turn his car off because they were afraid something was going to happen. But yeah. I did forget. So Alex Albon had the upgrades. Logan Sargent's not getting the upgrades until Silverstone.
Right.
So Alex Albon obviously made those upgrades work. He ended up being driver of the day, which was insanely deserved. He should have been driver of the whole freaking weekend.
Yep.
Like I said, Q2 was a masterclass by Alex Albon. And then he just literally was climbing that. Well, after he was controlling the DRS train for the longest time, then he just kept climbing the points and had his best finish. He was so happy in the post-race interview.
As you should be. I mean, you just got your team 7 valuable points. I think 7. Hold on. Like, 7 great points. You bumped your team up in the constructors. Like, he got the team 6 points. So now your team's second to last in the constructors, which is like, okay, like, second to last, but like
Yeah, but it's Williams.
now you're not
For
in last.
history.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
you're not in last. You know, and you're 1 point. You're 1 point behind Haas. You know, you're 2 points behind Alfa Romeo, and it's like, okay, like you have a good chance to go from the back of the pack to 7th in the constructors standings. You know, like that's fantastic. You know, I mean, yeah.
No, I mean it sounds like James Vowles is making those upgrades work. He might have been the right hire for Williams.
Like I really, really hope, just for joke's sake, that their upgrades were a redesign of their floor.
I hope.
And that it's not
because
just,
Alex
it's
Albon
not
was
just a
still
flat floor anymore.
Oh my god! But I mean, Alex Albon was still pulling that car through Q2 and had no reason to be pulling it through Q2. And I also found it shocking that apparently that was the first time Logan Sargent hasn't finished a race this season. Because you just think like Nick DeVries has DNF'd, but Oscar Piastri has been doing so well, so I guess Logan Sargent just been like,
maybe Logan
finishing out of the point.
There.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there is also
doesn't sound right, but also at the same time,
no.
Like, I can't remember a time that he didn't finish a race other than Canada, you know. But
I mean, and because Alex has been performing so well, so he's like outperforming Logan, obviously. But I also know there's rumors that Mick could be the second driver next year or the year after. So I like that you're holding in that yawn.
Thank you. Listen, I've been better this episode. All right, I've been better. I know. I can't sit for like really long times. I know. Struggle.
I'm getting hungry. But yeah, that was Alex Albon. I hope you continue with the momentum. Yeah, apparently, Christian Horner said he watched his performance more than Max, and then liked his post after the race. But people were like, "No, Christian Horner, stay away because he's the reason he got kicked out of F1 for like a year and then came back."
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I really hope this wasn't just like a one-off. Like, oh shit, we got lucky type deal.
I know. I hope I hope for next weekend, the upgrades continue to work, and then it would be interesting to see when Logan Sargent finally gets the upgrades.
Yeah, it would be cool to see if he would do better. Yeah. Yeah. It would be so nice.
I need Williams to do well.
Just different teams. Get them performing. That's what I want to see. The weekend Esteban was on the podium. I just love it because it's different people up there. It's different guys. It's a different story that we can talk about, and it's a different story that other places can tell and talk about and everything. Yeah.
That's the only reason why I think F1's growing, but Max dominating week after week is turning people away.
Oh yeah. But
that's why you need Ferrari back into it. That's why you need Mercedes back into it. Now Aston Martin, continue. Do well. But keep going. But I don't think anything else to add.
I am good. I don't think. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. Let me look at. No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, I can send us out.
Send us out.
Send us away. All right. Thank you so much for listening today to the F1 Underground podcast. If you enjoy this episode, please give us a follow at Underground F1 on Instagram and Underground_F1 on Twitter. I have been watching this entire episode. We are one follower away. What? One follower away from 100 followers on Instagram.
I know it's small, people, but
it seems so small. But I always think about it, and it's think about what 100 people could fill, and then it's
I know
that's a small auditorium, and that's a small auditorium full of people listening to our stuff. So please.
Well, if you think about it, we started this in February, the end of February, before the season. So it's pretty good.
I think it's really good. But yes, please, if you listen to the show, please go follow us. Again, it's at Underground F1 on Instagram and at Underground F at underground_F1 on Twitter. My bad.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard, especially because they're not the same. I can't just be
No.
like, hey, it's this for Twitter and Instagram. But
I know.
But regardless, also please shoot us an email. If you haven't, it's undergroundf1pod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you if you have any things that you want us to talk about, anything that you have questions on. Obviously, we're learning the sport just as much as hopefully some of our listeners are learning the sport and everything. So if you've thought of a question, and even if we can't answer it for you like right away, we'll certainly do our research to try to answer it for you. And it'll be great.
Teach us something.
Then we're both learning. Yeah. Please also give us a review wherever you listen to the podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever it is. Please give us a review. It's a great way to grow the show. Hopefully that would push us over the 100 Instagram followers mark as well. Also, please go and follow our main page and subscribe to our main page on YouTube. For the Underground Sports Network. So that is at Underground Sports Philadelphia, all one word. As of this recording right now, we currently sit at 515 subscribers. We're hoping to reach 600 by the end of June. I understand that is 10 days away.
10 days away.
So maybe not, but any amount helps. We want to grow everything. Everybody.
Oh, he's out. Sorry. He's out. They didn't review it.
Casey's watching the Phillies game.
They didn't review it.
So please go and follow that page as well. Again, it's Underground Sports Philadelphia. Great content over there, including ours. But yeah, thank you so much for listening today. And we will talk to you next week. There's no race at the end of this weekend. So we'll
talk to you next week.
Yeah. We'll
preview Austria.
Preview some Austria race and figure out what else to talk about.
Is that the Red Bull ring?
That is the Red Bull ring. That is a Red Bull home race.
It'll be orange smoke everywhere. All right.
Yes, it will.
We're in for it. Okay. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.